好，各位
Media friends, good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference on the government's measures on competing for talents and enterprises. The officials with us today are Mr. Eric Kwok, Mr. Eric Chan, Chief Secretary for Administration, Mr. Paul Chan, Financial Secretary, Mr. Algernon Yao, Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development, Mr. Chris Son, Secretary for Labour and Welfare, Mr. Christopher Hui, Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury, and also Professor Sun Dong, Secretary for ITI. Today we have three parts. First of all, Mr. Eric Chan and Mr. Paul Chan will give us some opening remarks on competing for talents and enterprises. And then we will hear the presentation from Mr. Chris Son, Mr. Algernon Yao, Mr. Christopher Hui, and also Professor Sun. And then we will take questions. Now may I invite the Chief Secretary for Administration to give us some remarks. Good afternoon, media friends and members of the public. In October, the CE published his policy address, in which he mentioned that we will compete for talents. By competing, it means that we will adopt a proactive attitude to attract high-quality talents to Hong Kong through improving our immigration policy, as well as establishing a mechanism to offer support to talents. We will draw for talents to enrich our talent pool, to tie in with our economic and societal developments in the future. After the delivery of the policy address, society has received our strategy warmly, and a lot of inquiries has been made. The business sector hopes that with our new strategy, we can attract the required talents for different industries in Hong Kong. It will also improve our development impetus. Attracting a wide variety of talents is the key. We have to foster the conventional industry strength, as well as encouraging developments of emerging industries, including I&T. 2 months after the delivery of the policy address, I, together with the Labour and Welfare Bureau and the Immigration Department, as well as other bureaus and departments, have been working tirelessly to devise the relevant measures. Now, I'm pleased to announce that starting the 28th of December, that is next Wednesday, take forward a series of new measures for competing for talents under the policy address, and we will open application. We will to talents over the world. First of all, the Talents Service Unit online platform will be launched on the 28th of December. As the initial stages, the LWB will be responsible for running the platform. They will be responsible for coordinating our talents efforts. The Talents Service Unit will offer a series of information concerning our immigration policy, and will be linked to the Immigration Department's website. We will accept e-application from talents over the world. And also through the units, we will offer information on our advantages to the talents, including information on accommodation, transport, and so on. And also we will establish offices for the talent service units to coordinate our efforts in attracting mainland and overseas talents. There will also be a one-stop platform for offering supporting services for talents. Concerning the funding required, we will apply funding from the FC next year to establish the office for the talent service units. Second, the portal will be linked up with the Immigration Department's website. It means that by making the platform fully digitalized, talents in the world can apply for a visa online and make payments. It is very convenient. Third, we will roll out a comprehensive set of measures to compete for talents, which will complement each other. These include the Top Talent Pass scheme and also the Enhanced Talent Admission schemes, which we have at present. By these schemes, we will attract high salary and highly educated talents to Hong Kong, and also talents in industries where there is a local shortage to enhance supply for our industries. Fourth, the application and approval procedures for these schemes will be streamlined and rationalized. Application handling time will be shortened. Fast talents can easily plan for their entrance. After submitting all the required documents, the approval process can be completed in 4 weeks. And also, the Quality Talent Admission Scheme with a point system will have its annual quota removed starting next year. The scheme will last for 2 years. With the collaboration between the governments and different sectors, we can continue on the path to return to normalcy, and we can tell the world that we have made a return to the central stage of the world. It is time that we strike proactively and compete for talents. We will work tirelessly, and we have confidence to meet the KPI. That is, for the next 3 years, we will attract at least 35,000 talents for each year who will stay for at least 12 months. We will closely monitor the implementation progress of each measure. When necessary, we will adjust and enhance the measures. Later on, Mr. Chris Sun, Secretary for Labour and Welfare, will brief us on the details of the talent service units and so on. Thank you. Now we will have a video clip about our measures to compete for talents.
You have to have a mix of talents and interchange of ideas. The people here, the talents here, are probably the hungriest in the world. Especially because you have China, which is very fast moving. It's almost like a speeding train.
咁香港人本身已經係好掂㗎啦。如果我哋再將外邊嘅人才都帶嚟香港，咁希望可以將呢啲唔同嘅人才匯聚埋一齊，可以衝出亞洲或者揚威世界。
You have the whole China market at your fingertips, half of the world population in 5 hours flight. Hong Kong has a lot to offer, and there is a great infrastructure coming. There is no other city or place in the world where you have this combination.
We are competing with other international cities in many areas like finance, INT development, and most importantly, competing for talents to help us stay on the edge.
Together, we put that in the melting pot, and we have a very successful industry, society, whether it's sport, arts, culture, or in any of the industries in Hong Kong.
我觉得这里是一个百花齐放的地方。香港的这个文化，它很多时候还有一些东方的特色。我非常喜欢这种共融包容的这种社会。其他的一些国际化大都市，你可能未必会有香港的一些比重。
喺城市入邊係好活力嘅生活啦，有得飲酒啦、食嘢啦，同啲朋友一齊開心啦。無論你喺邊度住，你都可以出去行山啊、踩單車啊、游下水啊。我覺得個平衡咧就好好啊。
This is a can-do city. You're working alongside people who are really the best at what they do from all over the world. There's an enormous energy here, which is very exciting. It's also a great place to raise a family. We have all the chips to attract international talent.
Stay hungry, work hard, play hard.
越嚟越開心，越嚟越穩定。
多啲 energy.
This fusion of international culture makes Hong Kong the most attractive place in the world.
好，依家我哋將
We'll now hear from the Financial Secretary. Good afternoon, friends of the media, members of the public. Thank you for attending the press conference today. In mid-October, the Chief Executive delivered his policy address, which showed out-of-the-box thinking and proposed proactive strategies. This means a range of measures to compete for enterprises and talent. Just then, the Chief Secretary for Administration covered strategies to attract talent. Now I will discuss the part about attracting enterprises and the latest progress. After a lot of preparations, the Office for Attracting Strategic Enterprises has been set up. The head of the office will be Mr. Philip Yong. I'm sure you're familiar with him. He is a senior administrative officer. Before retirement, he was with the CEDB and also with the Food and Health Bureau. He was the permanent secretary at the FHB. We thank him for being willing to take up this position. The Oasis will perform a range of functions. It will identify the needs of enterprises, and it will also discuss various matters and also provide support for firms. This is an office that provides one-stop services. Philip has been busy with the work. He has met with representatives from various firms to find out about their plans. Some firms are also in talks with his office to try to set up meetings. Oasis is about bringing in strategic enterprises. What do we mean by that? We have set up a list of strategic industries like life and health sciences, artificial intelligence, data science, fintech, advanced manufacturing, new materials, and also new energy sectors. Oasis will take into account the recommendations of the various bureaus and set up a list of enterprises and proactively reach out to the prospective firms. Now, some firms have reached out to us. After 2 months of publicity and preparations, there have also been discussions with the sectors. We have a preliminary list for the first round of firms. This list will expand and will be updated continuously. For enterprises, the Oasis will represent a counter where firms can turn to for questions. Within the government, Oasis will have the support from various bureaus. This covers 3 things. First, there will be dedicated teams at ETOs, or economic and trade offices, overseas as well as mainland offices. In these offices, there will be dedicated teams for attracting talent and enterprises. This means these teams will be covering the businesses in the respective regions they are. The ETOs and mainland offices will be closely in touch with the Oasis and support the Oasis in approaching the potential firms. I'm sure you're aware that the ETOs cover a wide range of places across the world. We will also have a dedicated arrangement. We are talking about a range of industries we're looking at. The Oasis alone does not have all the expertise to cover everything. This means the relevant policy bureaus will provide support. For example, for fintech, the Financial Services and the Treasury Bureau will be providing support. Now, for health and life science, data science, this is where the Innovation, Technology, and Industry Bureau will come in providing support in professional matters. The relevant bureau directors will tell us the relevant details. In terms of marketing and planning, the setup of the Oasis is mostly the advisory committee on attracting strategic enterprises is mostly ready. Members include distinguished members from various industries and community leaders. On matters such as the development in the relevant industries, plans, and also the support measures, these members will provide advice to the government. Once we have the areas in mind, and we have the relevant preparations, we will also need the right kind of tools in our toolkit. In the future fund, there will be $30 billion for a co-investment fund. With this money, we can pursue co-investment projects for strategic enterprises. This will help us get strategic enterprises to come to Hong Kong and engage in long-term investments. In the process, there will also be returns for us. Now, for the Hong Kong Investment Corporation to be established, Hong Kong IC will be overseeing the fund. The governing structure has also been finalized. The Hong Kong Investment Corporation, in its early phase, will be supported by the Hong Kong Monetary Authority in the governance and management. As the HKIC takes off, becomes well established, it will have its own leading team. The Chief Executive's policy address announced the OASIS as well as the other measures. We have received a lot of inquiries and requests for meetings. These are people from the leading companies from various industries. We also have people from leading sectors, but it just so happens that the scale of the company may be smaller. They take an interest in coming to Hong Kong, leverage our advantage under one country, two systems, and our connectivity with the mainland and the world, especially with regard to opportunities in the Greater Bay Area in talent, capital, etc. In terms of innovation and technology, some businesses have told us that they were about to go to other cities instead, but then they took notice of our strategies and they took an interest in us. We are confident that in the years to come, we will see more vibrant development, more lively development. In a moment, the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development will tell you in greater detail the arrangements about the OASIS and the dedicated teams. The Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, as well as the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury, will tell you the details in their respective areas. Thank you. We will now move on to the second part of the press conference. The Secretary for Labour and Welfare will tell you about the details of the work in his area. Good afternoon, everyone. My PowerPoint slides cover a range of matters, but I won't take up too much of the time. So I want to focus on the new initiatives instead of going through each slide. The key date here is December 28th. The online platform will go live on December 28th. The platform has to do with the new initiatives and all the enhanced measures announced in the policy address. The platform will go live. That means those enhanced measures will go live, application will open. People simply have to fill out the form online. They upload the documents required. And if needed, they can also pay the fees online. We want to lose no time in the process.
As you can see, there are many convenience tools on the new platform. After the delivery of the policy address, we have a lot of admission scheme in place. Now, some talents may wonder which scheme would suit them, but we have a new admission scheme matching tool. They only have to enter important information like salary, job, and also academic qualification. Then the matching tool would automatically match the talents to the suitable schemes. These are all done online. We will have an office address later. But the point is we have to put the platform online as soon as possible. And also our 17 ETOs and mainland offices have to work together and promote Hong Kong's attractiveness to talents in the world. Now, there are several salient points under this scheme. As mentioned by the CS4A, we have a very clear service pledge. That is 4 weeks after submission of all the required documents, the approval process will be completed. This will offer certainty to talents over the world that the application will be considered within this time frame. And also the Top Talents Pass scheme is a very important measure. There are 3 parts. By top talents, we are targeting people with high salary. That is, the pre-application annual salary exceeds $2.5 million. Regardless of their academic qualification, they can enter Hong Kong through this scheme. And also, they are degree holders and graduates of world top 100 universities with 3 years of working experience. If they do not have 3 years of experience within the past 5 years, they can also come to Hong Kong. But we have set a quota for 10,000 each year. Allow me to repeat this. The Top Talents Pass scheme covers a lot of areas. Now, for the specific points, in terms of the top 100 universities, we are relying on 4 rankings. As long as your university is on any of these lists, they will be considered top 100 universities in the world. And also, we will update the list every year. As long as your school has appeared on these lists, in any year over the past 5 years, you will be qualified. By this standard, there are 176 universities in the world among the top 100 universities, among which there are 9 mainland universities and 5 local universities in Hong Kong. We have made it very clear that we are only accepting degree holders. That is, you have to be a degree graduate from these 176 universities to be qualified under the Top Talent Pass scheme. The reason is that there are a lot of course types of in these universities. Some are offered remotely online. So to be foolproof and to enhance the credibility of the scheme, we will only accept degree graduates. For the 5 local universities, for non-local persons who have graduated in the past 5 years from the 5 local universities, they are actually eligible for the IANG, that is Immigration Arrangements for Non-Local Graduates. So we don't want these people who are eligible for IANG to take up quota places under the Top Talents Pass scheme. That's why we are not accepting their application under this scheme. And also we have the General Employment Policy as well as admission scheme for mainland talents and professionals. We have come up with a set of guidelines so that for employers as well as the talents who would like to come to Hong Kong, there are a set of clear guidelines. We have translated the 13 talent admission scheme into guidelines. So as long as you are qualified and you meet the requirements under the guidelines, you don't have to meet the the market supply test in order to come to Hong Kong. We will complete updating the talents list by the end of first quarter next year. So these include the IANG, that is Immigration Arrangements for Non-Local Graduates. For graduates from Hong Kong University's GBA campuses, these campuses are run by our own universities. So any graduates, degree or not, will be able to come to Hong Kong under the scheme. In terms of the Quality Migrants Admission Scheme, starting the 1st of January next year, we will remove the annual quota for 2 years consecutively, and we will also enhance the requirements. Now, the concerns of many talents are that whether their dependents, including spouses and dependent children, are they able to come to Hong Kong as well? Now, we have made this very clear that for spouse as well as unmarried dependent children under the age of 18, they can also come to Hong Kong with the talents. So this is a very important measure as well. In terms of visa arrangements, starting the 28th of December, we will enhance the visa arrangements. For those under the general employment policy as well as the admission scheme for mainland talents and professionals. For the first 2 years, for the first visa, they will be able to stay for 2 years. Now we are extending the limits of stay to 3 years. For ING as well as the top talent pass scheme, the first visa will be 2 years. If they are very quality talents, then they will be offered a visa of 6 years for the second visa. So if you can prove that you are earning an annual salary of higher than $2 million, then through the top talent scheme, you can get 6 years duration of stay for the next visa. It is showing our respect and the importance we attach to these talents. Now, in terms of KPIs, as mentioned by the CS4A, we are very confident that we can attract at least 35,000 talents who will stay for more than 12 months for each year over the next 3 years. Thank you. Secretary for CNE. Good afternoon, media friends. Now allow me to brief you on the new structure under the OASIS. In the process of competing for enterprises and also attracting enterprises to establish a presence in Hong Kong, how the OASIS will consider the different needs of these enterprises and offer them with a tailor-made plan. Previously, we mainly promote our attractiveness through Invest Hong Kong. After the delivery of the policy address, different bureaus and departments have been working closely together to implement the measures mentioned in the policy address. With the establishment of the OASIS and the dedicated teams for attracting businesses and talents, we will have a new structure for attracting talents and enterprises. First of all, OASIS will target strategic enterprises. As mentioned by the FS, the OASIS duty will take proactive measures to consider facilitation measures and to attract top-notch strategic enterprises from all over the world. The OASIS will report directly to the Office of the Financial Secretary. Specific works include setting up a list of key enterprises and take proactive measures to enter into a negotiation with them, consider their needs flexibly, and establish attractive facilitation measures for these enterprises, including visa and so on. It will also come up with a tailor-made plan for them to set up operation in Hong Kong and offer one-stop services to the employees. Now, the second part is the 17 ETOs and mainland offices. These ETOs will have the dedicated teams for attracting businesses and talents under them. The dedicated teams will work together with the OASIS. Now, the third part is the Advisory Committee on Attracting Strategic Enterprises. This will comprise representatives from business sectors and social leaders to advise on the overall strategy of attracting strategic enterprises to the FS. As the early stage of the OASIS, the Advisory Committee will be advising the OASIS on strategic points. We will announce the composition of the Advisory Committee in due course. The fourth component of the new structure is the bureaus, policy bureaus, and the principal officials who will provide support concerning industries of strategic importance. The final component of the new structure is Invest Hong Kong. Taking these opportunities, I would like to convey to you an important message. That is, we attach equal importance to mainland and overseas enterprises beyond the strategic enterprises. Over the past 20 years, the Invest Hong Kong has attracted a lot of overseas enterprises to Hong Kong. In year 2000, there were 35. In year 2019, the number has risen up to 487. The achievements of the Invest Hong Kong is apparent. Now, in line with the work of the Oasis, Invest Hong Kong will deploy its manpower suitably to offer one-stop facilitation measures to enterprises.
Now, if you are a strategic enterprise, what sort of support can you expect from Oasis? Here's a simple explanation. The Oasis will proactively approach strategic enterprises. We also welcome strategic enterprises to reach out to the Oasis as well. Doesn't matter whether an enterprise is determined to be strategic or not. The dedicated teams will follow up. The dedicated teams will also try to find out about the needs of the enterprises and provide tailor-made plans for those enterprises. We will also consider the needs and comments of strategic enterprises. The third point is that Oasis will coordinate the work of various government bureaus and departments in formulating one-stop support services. We hope that strategic enterprises will find the plans we present to them acceptable. Now, after the enterprises do come to Hong Kong, we will continue to follow up to evaluate their development and their contribution to Hong Kong's development. This is our goal. We want to create a stronger impetus for growth and benefiting the members of the public as a whole. The principal officials will also provide high-level steer in the process. In terms of attracting enterprises and talent, the government has set KPIs. From 2023 to 2025, the target is to attract at least 1,130 enterprises, including strategic enterprises. We want to see them setting up or scaling up the operations in Hong Kong, contributing to the economy and creating jobs. Policy bureaus and government departments will work together in achieving this goal. The current term government attaches importance to attracting talent and enterprises. As the Oasis and the dedicated teams for attracting enterprises and talent will be set up, the government attaches importance to attracting talent and enterprises. I call on overseas and mainland enterprises and talent to leverage our strength in having the support of our motherland and connectivity with the world. I invite them to come to Hong Kong to pursue their careers or expand their operations. We will now hear from the Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. Good afternoon, members of the public, friends of the media. I will brief you on the measures under the purview of the Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau on attracting talent. In October, the Chief Executive delivered his policy address, and he identified health and life science, artificial intelligence, data science, advanced manufacturing, and new energy as strategic enterprises. The goal is to attract at least 100 high-potential or representative INT enterprises in the next 5 years to set up or scale up operations in Hong Kong. This includes at least 20 leading INT enterprises. This is how we hope we can contribute to Hong Kong's INT development, more investment, and more high-quality jobs for Hong Kong. Now, since this current term government takes over, the ITIB has been working full steam ahead in terms of implementing the goals set out in the policy address. Our bureau has already got started with the work in terms of approaching and meeting with various enterprises. We briefed them on the latest developments in Hong Kong, hoping to get them to come to Hong Kong. One in particular enterprise, a pharmaceutical firm, has already signed a contract with us in developing an incubator for pharmaceutical development. We've also got in touch with leading firms to take forward projects in manufacturing and INT. The Hong Kong Science Park, Cyberport, and other bodies have also got in touch with the sectors, and they will continue to approach companies overseas and in the mainland to tell them about our advantages in an attempt to get them to come to Hong Kong. We will work with the Oasis and look at the following criteria in identifying representative leading enterprises. First, they have to be able to generate high value-added returns. They can help Hong Kong become a leader in Asia and also a global leader. And second, they have to be able to contribute to our GDP growth. And third, they have to be able to create quality jobs and bring together talent from overseas and from the mainland. They also have to tie in with the 14th Five-Year Plan and to help us integrate into our national development. First, promoting technology development takes the effort of all sectors of the community. So we need to bring the community together. We need to work together in bringing in enterprises and talent. We need to explore various finance channels, and we will have to work with the sectors. We will do road shows, seminars, and also visits. We will proactively reach out to various parties, and we will also leverage our network to approach various enterprises. This is how we can spread the word about our strengths. We have already prepared this website, and this website went online at 2 p.m. today. For enterprises taking an interest in Hong Kong, they can leave their contact details on the website so that we can contact them later. We have also created another source of information, a fact sheet on the government measures, funding, subsidy policies, and also information on our strengths in terms of our business environment. The ITIB, we work with the Oasis in attracting enterprises and talent in innovation and technology to contribute to our country's development in terms of building strength and self-reliance. We will now hear from the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury. Good afternoon, friends of the media, members of the public. I'm pleased to be able to brief you on measures to bring in fintech enterprises. In fintech development, we have three goals and visions. First, tech-driven innovation in the financial sector, and also developing new models in investment, financing, and risk management. This is all done to boost the sector's competitiveness. Second, a finance plus technology model in creating strong impetus for growth of Hong Kong and also creating quality jobs. The third goal and vision is to lower the threshold for members of the public and small and medium enterprises in terms of accessing financial services. This is about financial inclusion. We want to bring in financial enterprises. So fintech will be a strategic industry that our bureau is looking at. Now we can take a deeper look at the areas in the fintech area: bank and loan technologies, payment technologies, wealth management and capital market, virtual asset and blockchain, healthcare payment and financing, insurance technology, and financial management. For some of these areas, we want to help certain conventional areas to achieve upgrading and transformation, such as insurance. There are also cutting-edge areas, such as virtual assets and cryptocurrency. On the right-hand side, you can see that in terms of a transaction volume, it stands at more than $75 billion. You can see various areas represented in the chart. After financing, these businesses also need to explore new markets. The government will look at various areas and launch various support and facilitation measures to attract these strategic enterprises to come to Hong Kong.
In terms of strategy, we will cast our nets globally and take proactive strikes. In terms of geographical distribution of financing transaction, North America and Europe are the most active markets for fintech development, while the Asian markets and other places account for a lesser transaction volume. However, Asian markets has a similar structure with Hong Kong, and there are many similar solutions for promoting financial inclusiveness, as well as lowering the threshold to financial services. Now, based on our own and also our market intelligence, we will cast our net globally and set targets, a list of targeted financial technology industry, and enter into negotiation with them. And we will also update the list regularly. This time of the government has taken very proactive measures in terms of fintech developments. We have published the policy statements on the development of virtual assets in Hong Kong, as well as the development strategy blueprints for insurance industry. Riding on our obvious strengths, including a mass scale of markets, as well as our fintech infrastructure and projects, with our position as the bridge between the nation as well as the world, plus the special facilitation measures of the Oasis and its one-stop service, we are very confident that we will be able to attract fintech enterprises with enormous potential to establish in Hong Kong. In terms of supporting fintech enterprises operation in Hong Kong, there are 4 directions. First, we have a dedicated fintech team under the Invest Hong Kong to offer one-stop supporting services for enterprises who are interested in Hong Kong. There will also be consultation services for these enterprises. And also, we will disperse information in terms of capital allowances for fintech programs, including the incubation subsidy program offered by the Cyberport and also the HKSTP. And also, we encourage a collaboration between conventional financial institutions as well as fintech enterprises. We have the Fintech Proof of Concept scheme. Finally, we are offering financial practitioners training. We have the financial practitioners fintech training program for local talents to meet the needs of the markets. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we will take questions from reporters. Please raise your hands, and please identify your media outlets. Because of the sheer number of reporters present today, please limit your questions to 2. Thank you. First question, the gentleman in the front. Good afternoon. I'm from Ming Pao Daily. Now, in the past 2 years, how many enterprises have left Hong Kong? And what businesses did they do? Since you have a preliminary list of strategic enterprises that you would like to attract to Hong Kong, how many enterprises are there on the list? And on what basis did you set this list? Now, about the talent service units, you said for the office, you will apply for funding early next year. So what will the funding amount be? And how much do you estimate that you have to allocate to the entire efforts in terms of attracting talents and enterprises? Thank you. Concerning the list of strategic enterprises, as mentioned by Mr. Algernon Yao, starting 2023 to 25, the target is some 1,100 strategic enterprises. Professor Sun Dong also mentioned the target of 100 enterprises, which are mostly top-notch enterprises. Now, I beg your pardon, it is not a convenient time to publish the list because there are still negotiations to go through. In terms of the basis on which we formulate this list, we have a target in terms of the businesses that they engage in, for example, life science and fintech. It also relates to the pledges and division of the enterprise, as well as the contribution of the enterprises to our employment market. How many employees will they employ? What are the job types and also the quality of these employment opportunities? For the GDP contribution made by these enterprises to our economy, So we will take consideration of a basket of factors and take comprehensive consideration. Chief Secretary, concerning the Office of the Talent Service Unit, we will calculate the amounts required and apply for funding with the FC next year. There are mainly two types of manpower resources we need. We will deploy some civil servants to man the unit, and also we will engage external recruitment exercise to engage external employees. We need headhunting talents. And also there will be publicity and marketing experts recruited to the office. The major function of the Office of the Talent Service Unit is that these talents who are interested to come to Hong Kong can get the information they need. But previously, unless they have friends in Hong Kong, they wouldn't know where to get the relevant information. Say, for example, a tuition fee, the price of housing units, and also the medical system. Now, with this talent service unit, there will be a one-stop counter to offer the information to them. These information would be reliable information for them to make the decision to come to Hong Kong. It can even help them clear the previous misunderstanding they might have about Hong Kong, and then they can make the right decision. The lady in the front, I'm from Cable News. Writing on the previous question, there are lots of enterprises interested, and there is already a list. So how many enterprises are we talking about? Previously, in the past 2 years, 140,000 people have left Hong Kong. So if we are only able to attract 35,000 people per year, it will not make up for that. Now, next Wednesday, the Immigration Department will deploy manpower to prepare for the resumption of cross-border travel. So when will cross-boundary travel happen? Now, recently, in the mainland, there is an upsurge of cases. Will it affect the schedule? Thank you. Concerning the number of enterprises, over the past 2 months, we have reached out to many enterprises, and some enterprises have shown interest. And there are also some enterprises which we are going to meet. There are already more than a score of them. And pardon me, I will not be able to give you the nature of these, the business nature of these companies. Some of them are top-notch companies, and some are smaller scale companies. However, they are engaging in a cutting-edge technology business. So it is very meaningful for our economy. Chief Secretary, according to our statistics, some 140,000 people have left Hong Kong. We have come up with this figure based on the information on visas issued by different consulates or embassies. Well, in terms of people coming back to Hong Kong, we don't have the figure because for permanent residents, they can come back anytime they want. I believe that it is only normal that some people left and some people come back. Now, in terms of our service pledges, we expect we will be able to attract 35,000 people per year. So adding 3 years together, there will be more than 100,000 people coming to Hong Kong. Plus, we have some 50,000 university graduates locally each year. So altogether, 150,000. Plus the additional 100,000, altogether 250,000 people. I believe it would be more than enough to compensate the 140,000 people who have left Hong Kong. And we are confident that we will be able to meet this target, that is 35,000 people a year. Very importantly, what affects whether talents will come? Well, talents and enterprises go together. If there are very successful enterprises which have a presence in Hong Kong, naturally the talents will be attracted to here as well. On the other hand, if we have quality talents who can serve these enterprises, the enterprises will be willing to invest and expand in Hong Kong. So the point is we have to improve our economy. So the FS will be responsible for attracting major enterprises in Hong Kong, and we will work together, and we will supply the talents they need.
The gentleman over there.
South China Morning Post. Regarding the list that we just talked about, where are these enterprises usually from so far? Are there companies from the West? And is Hong Kong government worried about its effort being curtailed by the to attract companies from the West being curtailed by the present geopolitical challenges? Second question, given the strong emphasis to attract foreign talents, how do the government also make sure that homegrown talents would be able to get all the opportunities that they so want and need? And what are some of the policies and financial initiatives to ensure homegrown talents would also stay put? Thanks.
So may we invite the FS and the CS to respond to your questions?
Yeah,
FS,
all right. Those companies include both mainland companies and companies from the international community. Your question about whether these companies concerned about sanctions-related issues, given the current geopolitical situation. Under the one country, two system arrangements, Hong Kong is in a unique position in terms of acting as a bridge between the mainland and the international world. And it is not just a bridge, but also an entry point to the mainland market, particularly the GBA market. And here, the legal system is different. For example, the common law system and the intellectual property protection, as well as our attractiveness in terms of lifestyle, in terms of liquidity. So for many of those international companies, this remains a very attractive place. So I'm confident that we'll be able to attract those companies to come. Thank you.
Then the CS, please.
Sorry, I just left out a point raised by a previous journalist on quarantine-free travel. This is a matter close to the heart of many people. For reasons of business and family reunions, many people want to see quarantine-free travel with the mainland resumed quickly. We are in talks with the mainland. I believe there will be an update soon. There are rumors online. Don't believe that. Wait for an official announcement from the government. Once there is an update, the government will make an announcement.
And professionals coming to Hong Kong, I think the main attraction is the economy of Hong Kong. Whether there are many big companies or international companies would like to settle to expand their business in Hong Kong. And this is the main source of attraction for foreign professionals and talents, coupled with the relaxation on immigration policies, such as we extend the extension period, the immigration period, to 3 years, and also allow the foreigners to bring in their dependents, their wives and kids. I think these are additional attractions. These are the good points. I think they will eager to or willing to stay in Hong Kong and to I would say to develop their own career. I think once again the economy in Hong Kong is the biggest attraction.
好，跟住
Homegrown talents, right? You mean the training for the training and development opportunities for homegrown talents?
You can see that we have just released the blueprint on the youth development, and this is we have a single chapter for the youth development in Hong Kong. So the Hong Kong government is very concerned about the development of young people in Hong Kong, and under that we have many initiatives helping young people in Hong Kong to to develop themselves into, including their academics, their studies, how to the purchasing of properties, and how to create their own business. We have all this kind of assistance to them, and I think with all these assistance, I'm sure the young people in Hong Kong with a very bright future. Coupled with the fact that Hong Kong we will integrate into our country's national strategies, such as Belt and Road initiatives. I think this is a big engine to boost our economy. I think for our young people, we have a very good future in Hong Kong.
好，下一位記者嘅提問。
Next question, on the right, the lady with a red scarf, green scarf. I'm from Hong Kong 01. A follow-up question on the Top Talent Pass scheme. Singapore has their own scheme. We have a higher threshold here. We're saying 2.5 million per year, but then Singapore has a lower threshold in terms of income. Why is the Hong Kong government so confident that the talent will come to Hong Kong instead of going to Singapore? And for the many measures announced just then, there's little on how do we keep our existing enterprises and talent here. Now, there was a proposed increase to the Continuing Education Fund. Are there measures to enhance our local talent pool? The Chief Secretary for Administration, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves with other regions. Each place has its own appeals and its own strengths. Take Hong Kong as an example. In 2020 and 2021, we were hit by COVID. We did not have so many measures to attract talent. There was tension in the community. There were social distancing measures in place. But even then, more than 30,000 people applied for visas to come to Hong Kong, whether for work or for studies. And for those people, more than 20,000 people stayed in Hong Kong more than 12 months. There's a reason people wanted to come here. Singapore has their strengths, but we also have our own strengths. Our strength lies in the support we have from our motherland. We have great national policies. We have the Greater Bay Area Belt and Road and the 14th Five-Year Plan. For talent overseas, these are very attractive measures. When people pursue a career, they want to see a future in their career pursuit and development opportunities. Hong Kong has the support of our motherland. We are very attractive in this regard. We have relaxed many talent admission schemes so that people may take a greater interest in staying here. Now we are lengthening the limit of stay for visas. We're extending the limit of stay from 2 years to 3 years. This matters so that overseas talent, outside talent can plan ahead. They can bring in their spouses and children. Or for someone who has purchased a residential property, upon the 7th year, they can apply for a refund of the extra stamp duty. These measures come together. We want them to stay here. But first of all, we need to have a sound economic development. That's the most important thing.
Professor Sun, Mr. Chris Sun, Thank you for your question. If you turn to slide 11 of my PowerPoint, well, we understand we shouldn't compare the strengths of these two places. But allow me to say this. Our top talent pass scheme has a much wider scope than the Singaporean scheme you mentioned. We are covering two kinds of talents. We have the high salary talents, that is annual salary of $2.5 million. The other kind, however, is unique to us. We are attracting talents from the top 100 universities in the world. We have four lists with the past 5 years of rolling figure, and we have 176 top 100 universities. As long as you are a graduate from them, we disregard the salary you earn. On the other hand, if you are earning more than $2.5 million per year, regardless of your academic attainment, you can come to Hong Kong. So that's the first point. Whether I have confidence, yes, I can tell you on 3 tiers. Personally, since the announcement of the top talent pass scheme, I myself have received a lot of inquiries myself. Everyone is looking forward to apply for the scheme. And second, if you look at the numbers under the Quality Migrants Admission Scheme, in year 2021, we have received 5,000 applications under the scheme. This year, as at November, we have received 13,000 such applications. Now, the turning point was back in July when the CE mentioned we were to compete for talents. The number immediately rose, and it further rose after the delivery of the policy address. We estimate that 30 to 40% of the applicants would be eligible for the top talent pass scheme. Now, when the scheme comes to be, we will invite these applicants to switch their application to the top talent pass scheme. You can see that these people are voting with their choices. It shows that Hong Kong is still attractive. Third, in terms of INT industry, in the North America and also Europe, they have entered an adjustment period. Many talents are trying to find new opportunities elsewhere in the world. It is the golden moment for us. With our talent scheme, we can open up Hong Kong to these talents who are undergoing an adjustment phase in their life. Thank you. Let's take 2 more questions. Sorry, I missed the other question. In terms of retaining our homegrown talents, you said that we have lost some 140,000 people, so we have to make up for that, and work is to be done. In terms of young people, under the policy address, we have dedicated a whole chapter to youth work. It shows the importance we attach to them. In terms of youth's role in the future development, we have just published the Youth Development Blueprints in terms of education, employment, as well as pursuing a career. The blueprint is of tremendous importance. All these will help young people to thrive in Hong Kong, as well as to meet the future development trend. This is very important. We already have the 8 roles designated under the 14th Five-Year Plan. We will become an INT hub, so we will help our young people to rise up to these roles. And also we have the GBA Youth Employment Scheme. It can help young people to understand the country better. If they choose to work in the GBA, there will be allowances available for them. If you look at the policy address again, there are a lot of measures to help young people to find a job and study in Hong Kong. The last 2 questions. The lady in the front. Good afternoon, I'm from Now TV. Now, you said you cannot announce the list, but can you tell us whether these enterprises are mainly from mainland or the overseas? And also, the secretaries mentioned that it is about helping young people. So what about retaining the talents we already have? Well, In terms of the interested parties, the interested enterprises, there are enterprises from the mainland and the overseas as well. And they come from a wide range of industries. Earlier on, we have delivered the policy statements in terms of development of virtual assets in Hong Kong. Subsequently, the fintech industry has responded very positively. Some enterprises engaging in cutting-edge fintech businesses have reached out to us. And many of these fintech companies are from overseas. So there are different nature of business these enterprises are engaging in. Now, in terms of retaining homegrown talents, that is a very good question. Homegrown talents are our root and our major stock of talents. Overseas talents are just for supplementing our local talents. There are a lot of opportunities locally. We lack talents locally. If you're willing to stay in Hong Kong to strive here, there will be tremendous opportunities for you. According to the SMEs, for those employees who are willing to stay, they will very likely get promoted. We are doing everything to keep them in Hong Kong. It is our hope that those locally born and raised people will stay here to contribute to our society. In terms of education, training, and industry development, we are trying to tell young people with these that we are taking off and there are lots of opportunities. Local talents enjoy the strongest advantages in Hong Kong. We are just supplementing the talent pool with overseas talents. Local talents are our major assets. If you think Hong Kong is your home, please stay here and pursue your future here. Last question, please. The lady in the front. I'm from Phoenix TV. Now, in terms of competing for talents and enterprises, the SAR government emphasizes that we have to compete for R&D talents. Now, there is a semiconductor war going on in the world. It is a very sensitive industry. So what kind of measures will the government take forward to attract such talents to come to Hong Kong? FS, about your question, that is definitely one of our key industry area. Now, we have entered into negotiation with some semiconductor companies already. Now, in terms of attracting these talents and enterprises to Hong Kong, what is our advantage compared with other places? Why should they come? Well, I believe that in Hong Kong, you can have a very decent living standard and also a work environment. We have a very low tax regime, and there are lots of take-home pay for talents. And also the government is investing heavily in the development of our industries. There are opportunities everywhere. Overall speaking, compared with other neighboring cities, there are a lot of collaboration between Hong Kong and our neighboring cities. So by coming to Hong Kong, the stage for these talents will be much larger, not just Hong Kong, but at least at the GBA. There will be vast room for future developments for these talents. And also, Hong Kong is a place where the East meets West. It is a very unique place in the world. We want to attract talents in the mainland to come, and they also love Hong Kong. And we are an internationalized city, and we have very convenient transport for expatriates. Since we are an East meets West hub, because of the geopolitical tension, there are many Chinese academics and talents in the West who would like to come to Hong Kong to contribute. In Hong Kong, we boast a very quality and unique living style, and this is we enjoy the greatest strength under one country, two systems. We have a very strong competitive edge. Furthermore, besides work, we have a very rich life beyond work. It is very convenient for you to go to the beach, to go to the countryside to take a walk. In terms of the cultural scene, the M+ Museum has just opened. There are lots of attractive exhibitions going on. If you are a music lover, we have the best orchestra in Hong Kong, in the world. In terms of our living style, the living quality, and also the enjoyments we have, we are one of the best. And we have some 200 Michelin graded restaurants. And it is very easy for us to travel abroad. So we do enjoy a lot of edges in terms of attractiveness for talents. Now, finally, with opportunities, with the favorable environment, talents will come. We have a very good education. We have a very quality education system in Hong Kong. So in terms of attracting talents and enterprises, I think the most important thing is to tell our stories to them. We have to tell them what kind of opportunities and talents can enjoy in Hong Kong and in the mainland. Then we can attract very quality talents to Hong Kong. Thank you. So that's all for today's press conference. Thank you for attending.